Today I'm going to be talking about one of my new favorite games, Animal Well. I know this game came out over a year ago. I just discovered a couple months back. Maybe you haven't played it yet either. And one of my goals with this video is to get people to play it if they haven't. So if you haven't played it, but you already want to play it, I'm going to say stop this video right now. Don't watch it. Because the mysteries, all the things you discover and solve and find in the game, go in as blind as possible with this game. So I'm going to keep talking about it now, but if you already want to play it, come back to me later after you've played it. But in today's video, I am going to try to keep things mostly spoiler-free. Now, in a game like this, it's kind of hard because almost everything is a spoiler. But I'm going to try to keep it as spoiler-free here in the beginning as I talk through my own playthrough and the different aspects of the game that make it great. But then at the very end of the video, I am going to jump into spoilers, but I'll give you a warning before then. And one quick note, due to the art style of this game and the way that it is framed in these fixed camera angles and such, it may not be the most visually stimulating video I've ever made, but it is a beautiful game, and I hope you can appreciate what is here. And so now this game came out over a year ago, early 2024, and I actually bought it at the time it came out pretty shortly thereafter, but I didn't get around to playing it until just a couple months ago. So yeah, I was looking through my backlog. It's like, oh, I need to try this. I've been meaning to play this. Let's do it. And from the second I started the game, it just hooked me. It just sucked me in, and I didn't want to do anything else. I was obsessed with this game for a couple weeks until I beat it. It was amazing. I just didn't want to put it down. And for me, that's saying something. I hop around between games a lot. I jump in, play like an hour or two of this, a little bit of that, and jump around. So to find a game that really captures my attention these days and really sucks me in like this is something special. And yeah, this is going to be one of my all-time favorite games now. It's up there with Sonic 2, Donkey Kong Country, all the great platformers, most everything Mario's done, you know. Platformers is one of my favorite genres, so of course that, you know, is the main appeal here. It's a platforming game first and foremost. Now, as well, the game is primarily a platformer. It's also part of the metroidvania family of games where you go around the map and you unlock new areas. You may be blocked from getting to certain things until you find certain items or weapons that unlock new areas for you. That whole kind of thing that Metroid put in place, and really Castlevania copied from Metroid, so it's really just Metroid-like, but not so much on the combat in this game. You have ways of dealing with enemies, but you're not going to actually have weapons in the game. And so, like I said, one of the things that makes this game so magical and wonderful is all the dark, spooky mystery to it. When you enter the game, you're dropped into this dark cave of a place. You don't know what's going on, what you're doing, and they don't really tell you much. A lot of games today are very hand-holdy. They tell you every single little thing you do. You got like all these different cursors on your screen telling you like, go over here and talk to this guy, go over to do this. And this game doesn't do any of that. It lets you figure it all out for yourself. So you're going to get one little tip at the beginning, like press this button to jump or something, and then that's it. You've got to figure out everything else yourself, which some people might get frustrated with, but I promise you, stick with it. It makes it so enjoyable whenever you do discover things. And yeah, the game is filled with tons of different types of puzzles, little contraptions and things you have to interact with in the world, different items and tools you'll get over time to interact with them, to unlock different areas, to get past certain enemies and things that are blocking your path. But yeah, there's just this overall atmosphere of mystery and darkness. There's this eeriness to all the sounds and the levels you see, and the imagery that we see in the game all gives you this kind of sense of foreboding and kind of wonder of where am I, what is going on here exactly. And in some points, it even gave me a little bit of a claustrophobic feeling because I didn't know where I was going. I felt like I was trapped in this little tiny room at one point. And for this simple game here to pull that feeling into me was not something I normally get from your average platformer. And the controls for this game are great. Like, it's very, very precise. You always feel like whenever you are making a jump or something, you have done the thing. The game hasn't held you back at all because it always works the same way as you expect it to. It's very predictable, and the systems in the game all work together in a way where you don't feel like the game is cheating or doing something wrong against you. You just got to figure it out on your own skill. And then while you're solving these puzzles, like I said, you're going to get a number of items over the course of the game. I can't remember exactly how many. I think there's like something like 10 or 12 you'll eventually unlock. But at the beginning of the game, you're going to have 2 or 3 that are really, really important that you're not going to be able to get into certain areas without. Now, I'll get into what those are later in the video, but for now, just know that you are going to find yourself stuck many times, and oftentimes the answer is to find a new item, come back, and now you can do the thing you couldn't do before, right? And it's not tedious in those kind of games where you feel like you're just constantly going back and forth. I promise you, it doesn't feel like a tedium. It's enjoyable to come back and discover these new things. I will talk about just a single item. It's probably the first item you'll encounter, although the game is fairly non-linear. You could encounter other items first, but this one's going to block you from a lot of things at first until you get it. So mild spoiler coming. But there is this item called the Bubble Wand. It lets you blow a little bubble, and then you can jump onto that bubble. Pretty simple little thing, you know, it just floats up and gives you an extra little platform. Lets you reach higher areas you couldn't have gotten to before. But that little bubble, just having that wand, you're going to find so many places that you couldn't get to before, or things that just didn't make sense before, that now you're able to manipulate and work through the levels and use this bubble in all sorts of different ways. It's very interesting, all the different scenarios that are possible through these simple items. Additionally, there are a few secret items, a few things to unlock and kind of collect if you're into the completionist thing, but we'll get into that in the later part of the video. And once again, the vibes in this game really make it, like the atmosphere, just the feeling you get while you're in this place, while you're wandering around these caves, these tunnels, wherever it is you are, somewhere in maybe in a literal well, you don't know in the game exactly. And you're just kind of exploring, going from room to room, trying to figure out how to get out of here maybe, or what you're even supposed to be doing in the game. But the whole time, from the way it's presented to you, you're right there with the character. You are discovering all this stuff. You are making these discoveries. The game isn't saying like, hey, you should go talk to this guy, and then hey, you should go press this button over here. Like, you've done it all on your own, and it's that much more rewarding because of it. And the atmosphere and everything works the same way. Like, you will get sucked into it, or at least I did. There's not like crazy jump scares or any kind of Resident Evil horror game kind of stuff gonna happen, but there will be things that will maybe make you jump, even though. But yeah, the tone is very important in this game. It's part of what makes it so wonderful, is just the feel of the world, the sound of the world, the look of everything. The graphics all have this kind of dark, melancholic feel to them. There's a little bit of a surreal, kind of almost scary to some people, elements of the game. But yeah, the mood and the atmosphere of the game, it really makes you feel like you're trapped in this deep, dark, dank well, or tunnel or cave or something, somewhere deep, deep underground. And yeah, you have to experience it for yourself. There's only so much my words are gonna do here. And another thing I want to call about the looks of the game is, it's a pixel art game, and if you are from the older 20th century and you've played with a CRT monitor, you know that CRT filters, scan lines, those kind of things really help make pixel art pop. It kind of smooths it out and makes it just more detailed looking, and that's true for this game. It comes with scan lines enabled by default with a nice little CRT filter. Kind of blurs the edges a little bit. It's a little bit more than just a simple scan line. But yeah, it really adds something to the game. I would really heavily suggest you leave that on, even if you're a pixel purist. You're like, oh, I love my big, blocky, sharp pixels of the modern LCD age. But give it a shot like it's on by default. Play it for a few hours, then go and turn it off and see if you actually do like it better or not. Because I think it looks a lot better with the scan lines in place. Because that's how the developer intended you to play, really. Even though it gives you the option. Yeah, you could say that this is a HD 2D game, even because it has different types of lighting effects and things going on. It's not a game that would have been capable on an old NES or a Genesis or something. There's definitely modern things happening with lighting, with particle effects. This all adds to the feel of the game, though, and just makes it all feel more cohesive and kind of fits together just from all these different layers of effects and things that the developer used while making the graphics of this game. I've seen some developer footage from early in it before he added all that stuff, and it really brings that whole dark, atmospheric feel that I was just talking about to the game when all that lighting and stuff is at play. But the game's beauty isn't just in its graphics, it's also in its sound effects and its music. There's this atmosphere to the game like I was talking about. A big part of that is in the sound design. The music, I don't think gets enough attention or praise in this game because the solo developer that made this game, Billy Basso, he did all this by himself. A lot of the sound effects, some of the things he went out in the world and recorded, but a lot of it's stuff that he made on a synthesizer, just kind of fiddling around till he found a sound effect that sounded cool, or maybe he said some words and then put it through a bunch of filters and stuff to make it sound weird and stuff so you don't know that it's a human talking. A lot of the animals are actually voiced in this way. They kind of mimic the animal and then put effects on it to make it sound more not like a human. But I promise you, yeah, it's really got a lot of charm to it in not only gameplay and graphics, but also in the sound design of the game. And I just, even though the music isn't anything that complex, a lot of the songs are only like 30 seconds to a minute in loop. I personally love it so much, I'll just put it on and just let it play in the background for like hours sometimes, just because it's so soothing, and I love the feel and the mood that comes with it. But yeah, lastly, like I was just saying, this game was all made by one person, a developer named Billy Basso, and he did have a publisher. You know, he didn't do it completely alone. He had a little bit of help, but in terms of graphics, design, programming, sound, it's pretty much all him, outside of the actual publishing and promotional process and testing and things. I'm sure he had a little help porting to consoles too. But yeah, this is a work of art that this band has made. This is right up there with a painting or a great book or a great album. This is a work of art that this person put his soul into for over 7 years to make. And you can really see it in the quality, the detail. There is so much attention to detail. Every single screen in the game, every single pixel has been thought about with a lot of detail and a lot of purpose. And this level of craftsmanship is not something we see even in AAA games these days very often. Additionally, one of Billy's tenets for this game is he didn't want to ever have to put out any patches. He didn't want to ever have any DLC or anything for you to add on and pay for. He wanted it to be one complete work that is self-contained and never gets touched again once he released it into the world. And I think there may have been maybe some minor bug fixes in the beginning, but otherwise the game is untouched, and all the secrets and stuff inside it have been there from day one. You know, he's not slipping things in or changing things. Like, this game is a fixed point in time, as Doctor Who would say, and it is meant to be what it is forever. And I think that's really great. Okay, so I've kept it pretty low spoilers here, but from this point forward, I'm just gonna assume you've played the game and you have beaten the game and you already know all about things or some of these things, so it's not gonna be a big deal when I spoil it for you, alright? Alright, time's up. And so, like I said earlier, everything is a spoiler in this game. Just the items themselves are spoilers. You come across buttons and you're like, how am I ever going to reach that button? I can't make the bubble get up that high. And then you find, oh look, here's a yo-yo. And now you can suddenly hit buttons way off and do all these crazy things with the yo-yo that you didn't even think about. and it just unlocks all this area, and it also unlocks ways to deal with certain hazards, certain problems. You get a slinky at some point, and you know, there's places where you could use the yo-yo and maybe you hit the wrong button, but they're set up that if you hit the wrong button, this crow comes down and starts pecking your head or something, and you got to get the right one. You can only get it with the slinky. But the way that the levels have been designed, it's very precisely set up where you're like, you have to do certain things through a certain way, but then other things are more flexible. But in terms of like your main progression, a lot of that is pretty well locked in to be like, okay, you've got to find the slinky before you can get past this door. Now, I'm not going to talk about every single item the game has. I'm just going to go over some of the more important ones. But yeah, the warp whistle, the flute, that was a great discovery. I went into this game raw. I'd heard about the game. I made sure not to find out anything about it. I went in pretty pure to this game, so everything was a magical discovery when I came across it. But when I found that flute, I was like, oh yes, this is great. This is gonna unlock so many things, and it did. Because at the bottom of the little warp zone you find, there's this little fish at the bottom, and I noticed, he's popping up and down out of the water at this interesting rhythm. He's facing left and then right and then up, and eventually I was like, well, what if I play a little song on the flute that matches the thing? And suddenly I warped back to the warp room, and I had just unlocked the ability to get back there at any point in time, which is incredibly convenient and very helpful for some of the ladder bosses like the wolf. At the same time, I've watched other people play this game, and some people never even discover that. Everybody kind of has a unique experience because of this. Not everybody discovers every single thing or in the same order. But yeah, that was just magic, finding the flute. Very reminiscent to Super Mario 3 and Zelda and things. And then the place is littered with ghosts, so eventually you find a lantern that lets you walk right past them because the ghosts, I guess, dematerialize, or just they can't hurt you whenever there's light shining on them. And so now you've got this light around you. You can get to areas that were blocked by ghosts and things, like just all the different areas. Like, he kept surprising me with things because, I don't know, just like a certain area would look insurmountable, and then suddenly I get an item. It's like, oh, well now that's clearly somewhere I need to go. The disc is probably one of my favorite ones. You initially find this stuck in the mouth of the wolf statue, and as soon as you take it out, one of the spookiest moments happens is that specter of a ghost comes out and starts chasing you all the map, and you start realizing you have no idea what to do, and you can't get away from this thing, and you just got to put the disc back or die and start over. And eventually you find a fake disc that you can come and swap them out, and now you've got this thing. But yeah, like I was saying, my girlfriend, she had played it before me, and she saw me playing, and I figured out that I could throw the disc, and once it was bouncing on things, I could jump onto it and use it like a platform. And she was kind of mad at me because she said it took her many, many hours before she realized she could do that, even though I just kind of stumbled across it pretty early in my playthrough. But that's part of the beauty of this game. Everybody has a different, unique experience because you have to figure it out yourself. And then the last item I want to touch in was the UV light. This is great for the late game, especially if you're unlocking the later secrets and things. But it's just really nice touch, and it makes everything look so interesting and cool with that glow from the UV light. It doesn't protect you against ghosts like the regular lantern, though. They don't care about UV light, only regular light. And so now when I played through this game, I wasn't speedrunning. I wasn't trying to go for any kind of record or anything. I was just playing. But it took me, I think, about 25 hours to get to the first time I saw the credits roll. But this game has multiple endings, and so that was not the end of it. I think by the time I had 100%ed every last thing in the game, for the most part, I still got some trophies, or not trophies, I got all the trophies. They call them figurines. Yeah, I've got a few little virtual figurines in the game to collect still, but otherwise, pretty much everything at this point. And that's not something I do with games. I'm not a completionist. I usually get a credit roll, put the game down, unless it's like one of my very favorite games. So for this game to get me to go through 100% it and even get a platinum trophy, I think it might have been the first time I ever got a platinum trophy on my PlayStation account. I just couldn't put it down. But I'm sure if you're racing through it, you could probably beat this game in a much quicker time. There's speedrunners that do it in matters of minutes. A lot of that is through utilizing the whistle for some little hacks you can do to kind of cheat and warp into places you're not really supposed to get to. But yeah, you can do all kinds of crazy stuff in this game. And Billy, I've seen him in his interviews say that, you know, he knew people were going to hack the game. He knew people would data mine it. He knew people would cheat and do all these things, and he kind of accounted for that with his design. He kind of made it with that already in mind. In fact, one of the items, the only item I have not found in the game, because you have to do a warp hack to get to the right room that you can't actually reach through legitimate means, but you find the final item, which is called the cheater's ring, which lets you no clip and basically go anywhere on the map, and now everything is available. Like nothing is hidden anymore. In fact, there's much like the Devland in Tunic, there's some older assets and stuff hidden within the walls of the game that you can unlock, some sprites and some characters that used to have even dialogue and stuff hiding inside, I'm told. I haven't done that myself, but yeah, it's kind of amazing that Billy thought through all of these different scenarios for the audience and how different people would experience it. And yeah, this game, like I said, it's got multiple endings or multiple credit rolls. There's, I think, 4 layers is the official thing. So the different layers are kind of like you beat layer 1, then you go through and you beat layer 2 and so forth. In the first layer, it's the main game. You're going through, you're collecting the flames and beating bosses, trying to get to the end boss, the Manticore, and defeat them, and then you get your credit roll. But then with layer 2, now you're going through and you're trying to collect every single hidden egg, which is going to unlock something special for you. In layer 3, you're going to go around, you're going to try to collect these little bunnies. You may have seen a bunny very early in the game that's kind of just chilling in an unreachable spot, but eventually you can get to them, and like 14 or 15 other bunnies. And once you've done that, then you unlock an extra boss battle, and you get to go to this whole other plane of existence. I know I said I'm going to spoil things now, but I'm going to just leave that for you, I guess. Here, we'll see what I decide to put on the screen video-wise. But yeah, and then once you do that, there's another layer, because once you get to the secret end area of the second ending, you actually can fly, and if you take its exact path that people had to figure out, you can get to another area that gives you another ending. And then there's another flight path that gets you to layer 4. It's crazy deep, this well. There's so much going on inside of it, and so much in terms of puzzles and secrets and things. The latter puzzles are so complicated and so esoteric that you're probably going to rely on the community for these things. When I played through the game, I got to the first credit roll all on my own, but I definitely made use of some wikis and such for the latter stuff, because it's very complicated, and it's amazing that people solved it so quickly. In fact, at the very end of the game, Billy leaves a little message for you, and from interviews it sounds like he thought people would take years and years to get to this, maybe even a decade. Instead, they were able to find it in about a week and a half. But yeah, it's incredible just how much detail, how much thought went into the puzzles and the secrets that are hidden inside this game. Before I finish up here, I want to shout out Second Wind's awesome documentary, The Making of Animal Well. That was a big source of information and such on the inspirations and things behind the game and why it was made the way it was made. Definitely go check out that video. But yeah, I fell absolutely in love with this game. I was trapped in the well and didn't ever want to get out. In fact, after I beat the game, after I 100%ed the game, there was this sense of loss that there was no more. And I can't wait to see what Billy makes next. Maybe it's a brand new game, maybe it's Animal Well 2. My gut tells me it'll probably be something different, but if I could just have 7, 8 more Animal Wells, that's all I'd do for the rest of the year, is just play this game, because it's so much fun. But I'm excited to see what Billy comes up with next, and maybe Dunkey will find another great solo dev or small team of indie devs. You know, they matter too, as impressive it is for the solo devs. But the publisher of this game, Big Mo Games, is a YouTuber, Video Game Dunkey, that came across it, and that's all part of the making of documentary, so you'll see that if you watch that video. But yeah, I hope great success for everybody involved in this game, and I can't wait to see what Billy comes up with next. So hopefully I've convinced you need to go check this game out if you haven't yet. I mean, if you're here, that means you've already been spoiled on a lot of things, and I told you not to, but oh well. Yeah, go check out Animal Well if you haven't, go replay it if you have, and tell all your friends, because wow, this game is something special, and it's something that everybody in the gaming community needs to experience, I believe. Thanks for watching. Well, it's been a few weeks since my last video. I've been meaning to get this one out for a minute. Sorry it took so long, but it's here now. The last video before this did amazing. It's my biggest video yet. I think I have 28,000 views on it, which is kind of mind-blowing at this point. A lot of my videos get like 100 views, maybe 1,000, so 28,000 is like huge for me. Yeah, we got a lot of new subscribers and stuff from that last video, so I hope I can keep that momentum going. Thank you to everyone that has subscribed. Thank you for everybody that likes the videos. Please like this video if you haven't already. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.